This house will make me $1,000 a month for the rest of my life, and it'll make my children, my family, even more money than that, even well past my death. Building a legacy for your kids, utilizing real estate is amazing, but buying a house with no cash out of your pocket, no credit, and no credentials is what I wanted to talk about today. So here we are in 2025. Everybody's talking about how the market is soft and interest rates are high and people can't afford houses. Meanwhile, I'm driving to a house I just locked up yesterday where it has a 2.75% interest rate. Everything that anybody's telling you about the BRRRR strategy or Airbnb and all of those types of things, that's why people believe real estate is dead, is because the BRRRR strategy has been dead for 2 years. Airbnb has been dying for 2 years. In fact, Airbnb just took 800,000 houses off of its platform just in the last 2 days. The game is changing, my friends, but the one thing that does not change is your ability to acquire real estate without a credit check, without a bank, without cash out of your pocket. So let's explain this deal. Really cute deal. I'm pulling up to it right now. So this house, let's talk about it for a second. This house, I called the agent. The agent says that the seller's in foreclosure. They had a health issue. They're losing the house. They're behind on their payments a couple of months. The seller is going to go move back in with a family member and get their life back on track. They have health issues that they can't solve on their own. So I call the agent. How do we call the agent? Well, I had a brand new, never set an appointment type of person set an appointment for me. What we do is we go to Deal Sauce. We filter out low equity. We put a 4% interest rate filter on there, and we find on-market properties that have had a hard time selling for 100 days. That's the filter. Just gave it to you. Deal Sauce, 100 days plus, less than 4% interest, on market, and low equity. This house is worth $350,000. We bought it for $289,000 because we took over the seller's existing payments via SubTo. Now I have a lot of videos about what exactly is SubTo right here. One that's a full-on breakdown and whiteboard video that has a couple 100,000 views. People really seem to like the way I explained it there. But I'm taking over a 2.75% rate. Now, let's talk about numbers. The seller's getting $10,000 and letting me take over their mortgage.
Well, Pace, I thought you buy houses with no cash.
Let me explain. The agent is also getting paid $20,000. Okay, so agents that are out there, please go to my website, creativelisting.com. And if you ever have houses you want to sell to me this way, go to creativelisting.com, say, I want to sell this house, and submit these deals to me. I'd love to look at them. And I also have the nation's largest buyer network of creative finance deals. We've built it. It's called the SubTo community. And we have deal buyers all over the country that can help you out of these situations. So agents getting 20, sellers getting 10. The arrears are $7,800. So their late payments are $7,800. Closing costs are about $5,000. And because this came from a challenge I was doing, I'm paying the brand new students $10,000 that brought the deal or brought the appointment to me. And then I own this house, which is awesome. And I take it over subject to, so I don't have to qualify for the loan. Obviously, we go through a title company that knows what they're doing. GetCreativeTitle.com is the name of the title company. GetCreativeTitle.com. We do creative finance transactions in 43 states. So the money, where does that money come from? Pace always says, well, Pace buys money or buys houses without any money out of his pocket. And that's true. So let's talk about the income of this house, and I'll tell you how I'm financing it. So this house has a front house, okay, that you can see right here. And it is rented for $2,200 a month. Every house in this neighborhood is averaging about $2,200 a month. Then there's a casita in the back that's renting right now for $1,000 a month. So this house will bring in $3,200 every single month in top line gross total income every month. Well, my payment that I'm taking over is $1,400. That's pretty cool. So I've got $1,800 spread between what my payment is and what my income is going to be. Well, that gives me the ability to finance some pretty cool things, right? I pay for property management, I pay for vacancy, I pay for repairs, all of those types of things. But most importantly, what I end up doing is I raise money from private money lenders. And I'll give you a list of some private money lenders in the description below, people I've done deals with. And they'll usually come in with increments of like $5,000 each, and they'll all pool together, and 10 of them will fund a deal like this for me. Again, list is down below. I'll just give them to you. I built private money lenders for the last 10 years of my life, and I can just give them to you freely because I have such an abundance of private money lenders. So I'm raising 10 grand for the seller, 10 grand for my team, 20 grand for the agent, that's 40 grand, plus $5,000 in closing costs, plus $7,800 for the arrears. So that means I'm raising let's just call it $55,000. If I'm raising $55,000, my payment to those private money lenders will be $550. Cool. Well, if I have a spread of $1,800, paying my private money lenders $550 a month is incredibly feasible and very, very easy, actually. After vacancy, repairs, maintenance, property management, I will end up netting about $900 to $1,000 every single month on this house. So I created value out of thin air. I'm making $1,000 a month off this one house for the rest of my life. Net, that's net. That's after management. That's after expenses. That's after my private money lenders. That's after the mortgage payment. And the cool thing is, I only pay 2.75% interest on somebody else's loan. So for those of you guys out there wanting to do the game of real estate, do SubTo. When you're looking at the series of difficulty of getting into the game, SubTo and seller finance is by far the easiest thing to get into, okay? The BRRRR strategy is almost at the very hardest thing to get into. And the reason being is because you have to apply for loans, you have to have down payments of your own, you have to have seasoned funds, W-2. And not only do you have to get a loan, you have to get 2 loans. Okay, when you're doing a BRRRR strategy deal, you're doing 2 loans. In a SubTo deal, I don't do 1 loan, not even 1. I just take over somebody else's loan. So when you're looking at the significance of simple, like how simple something can be, SubTo is the most simple transaction, the easiest transaction, and the fastest transaction. So what you're seeing is a massive amount of people take what I've been learning for the last 10 years and showing it on YouTube, and the entire industry is starting to now realize we should be starting with SubTo and elevating into the BRRRR strategy at some point when interest rates come down. But I can go and pick out interest rates right now. I don't wait for the Fed to lower rates. I go find the rate I want and then find a house that's in significant pain and ask them if I could just take over their rate. That is the way real estate should be done. And the fact that not everybody is taught this in real estate school, it blows my mind. So if you guys want a couple of resources, I'll give you guys, again, another link to me breaking down what is SubTo a little bit more in depth. And if you want to join my team, you want to be on my team and be one of those newbies that sets appointments for me, get into the No One Left Behind challenge. Go to the link in the description down below. It says join the challenge. You get to be in person in my office working these types of deals. My team, that team made $10,000 on just this one appointment that was set, and I'll keep the house in my portfolio for life. Like my grandchildren will be receiving paychecks from this house in 50 years. So thank you for the support. I appreciate you guys following the channel, loving on us, and liking and subscribing and sharing these videos with other people. Have a great day.